far south of Kemri, where the great desert gives way to marshes and trees. There stands a ruined tower from an age long forgotten. Ancient tomes claim the tower holds the secrets to the universe, and will reveal those secrets only when darkness swallows the midday sun. For those few moments during the solar eclipse, any wizard that controls the tower will gain complete mastery over the winds of magic. It is a prize even the most ambitious sorcerer can barely imagine. And so, on this very day, as the moon begins to pass across the sun, we find two armies massing for battle on either side of the mysterious tower. The victor shall know a prize unlike any other, and the vanquished shall suffer a loss not soon to be forgotten. I'm Princess Devon for Imperial Action News, and this is the Battle Report. General, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
My name is Skeesnet Gnawtail, and you will fear me.
Please tell us about the forces you've brought.
Many forces have come along with me. Starting to my most left, you will see the giant rats and a warp lightning cannon right next to them, followed by slaves. Of course, here just to die, with a hell pit abomination showing the mastery of all things Skaven. Clan rats with the gray seer, do not trust him. And then to his right, more slaves. One can never have too many slaves there to die. 70 clan rat warriors backing me up. Of course, my assistant's telling me it's really only 66, but clearly he cannot count. And to my right, the plague monks. They smell. Okay. And then to their right, the plague censer bearers with their clouds of poison. And then finally, more giant rats.
So is that all the forces you've brought?
Then we also have the advanced forces. And for those, plenty of assassins and gutter runners with their poison slings.
And I see they've already claimed the wizard's tower.
Clearly. We have bested the pointy-eared ones and come to claim the warpstone that is ours.
Warpstone? Okay. I think you may be a little bit confused. No matter. Let's take a look at the elves. General, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
I am the Lore Master Marvel, master of all 8 winds of magic. I have come here to claim the Wizard's Tower and to further increase my mastery over the winds of magic so that I can once and for all defeat the Skaven menace.
What forces have you brought?
Starting on my extreme left flank, I have brought a Tyrannoc chariot, 5 silver helms with standard, a noble mounted on a griffin, a Frostheart phoenix, 10 Illyrian reavers in 2 units of 5, 14 Phoenix Guard with my battle standard bearer. Next, I have 24 Lothern Sea Guard, my personal bodyguard of 16 Swordmasters of Hoeth, and my pupil, a level 2 Mage of High Magic. I have 20 White Lions of Trace, a Great Eagle, 10 Archers, another Great Eagle, and finally, advancing towards the blasphemous enemy artillery, I have 5 Shadow Warriors.
2 impressive armies, I must say. This could be anyone's fight. But it seems the High Elves are advancing first. The Illyrian vanguard charges ahead of the rest of the force, followed quickly by the Tyrannoc chariot and the Silver Helms. The Illyrian Reavers move to taunt the Skaven infantry, as the Phoenix Guard and the White Lions advance on foot. Skilled in the ways of nature, the White Lions recognize a nearby fungal forest and are careful to avoid it. Outpacing the Lothern Sea Guard, however, the Wizards and Swordmaster moved defiantly into the fungal forest, scoffing at the risk of intoxicating mushrooms. Not yet prepared to charge, the Shadow Warriors move closer to the giant rats. And both eagles prepare to deal with the warp lightning cannons, while the Frost Phoenix and the Griffin Rider swoop toward the enemy. Within the fungal forest, the elf wizards find themselves close enough to the tower to begin reaping its wisdom. Lore Master Marvel launches a fireball into the Skaven-infested tower, frying all but 2 of the gutter runners, who nonetheless remain eager to fight. Marvel then casts Fulminating Flame Cage at the Grey Seer's unit, doing so with irresistible force. That scorches one of the clan rats, but sets off a dimensional cascade that kills 3 of the Swordmasters, and nearly takes out Marvel himself.
Whew, that was close, but Lore Master Marvel has lived to tell the tale, at least for now.
The Sea Guard shoot their bows at the remaining Skaven in the tower, but accomplish nothing. The Archers and Shadow Warriors are equally ineffective, but the Charioteers and Illyrian Reavers manage to slay a giant rat and a censer bearer. In response, the Plague Monks prepare to charge, but the nearby Reavers flee. The monks and censer bearers then prepare to charge the other group of Reavers, which flee across the battlefield, but does not panic any other elves. With no hope of catching the Reavers, the Plague Monks and censer bearers stumble ahead uselessly, while giant rats charge the Shadow Warriors. The Hellpit Abomination lurches forward, and slaves scramble over the nearby wall. More giant rats then emerge from one of the small huts, while on the other side of the battlefield, more rats harass the Frost Phoenix. The Skaven general and his clan rats march into a forest near the tower, while the other Skaven move eagerly forward. Trapped by flames, but still dead, the Grey Seer blesses the general's unit with filth, with irresistible force, resulting in magical feedback that slightly reduces the power of the winds of magic. Undaunted, the Grey Seer directs a plague at the White Lions, forcing the elves to burn a dispel scroll. The Seer then attempts to cast Vermintide, but is dispelled by Lore Master Marvel. A Plague Wind Mortar intended for the Silver Helms strikes the Griffin, but causes no damage. A second mortar strikes the White Lion, causing 5 of them to die in horrible death. A Warp Lightning Cannon then blasts the Phoenix Guard, sending 4 of them to meet Asurian. The second lightning cannon then shoots at the White Lions, but misses. The Shadow Warriors hack at the giant rats, killing 2 of them. The charging rats then tear apart 2 of the Shadow Warriors, breaking Elves' morale. The giant rats then run down the fleeing warriors and finish them.
These first few moments of battle have been very exciting,
General, tell us your thoughts.
Clearly, as you can see from how things are unfolding, everything is going just as I wanted it.
As the moon continues to move across the sun, both great eagles charge the warp lightning cannon. The white lions charge the hell pit abomination, losing an entire rank of men in the deadly marsh. The Frostheart Phoenix charges the censer bearers. And the Tyrannok chariot charges a group of giant rats. And the wizards and swordmasters assault the tower. A unit of Illyrian Reavers flees the battlefield, while the other unit of Reavers rallies and prepares to rejoin the battle. The Griffin Rider moves to outflank the enemy infantry, while the Illyrian Reavers once again move to taunt the Plague Monks. The Silver Helms and Archers reform. As the Phoenix Guard move back from the formidable horde of clan rats. With the battle now joined on both sides of the field, things are likely to heat up quickly. The Phoenix Guard drink from the mysterious Wyrding well, restoring their unit to full strength. The flames around the Grey Seer's unit burn out. Drawing magical knowledge from the tower, Lord Master Marvel casts Throne of Vines. Marvel then attempts to cast Flesh to Stone upon the White Lions, but the Grey Seer easily dispels it. The archers then slay a giant rat. The Reavers fire ineffectively at the Plague Monks, and the Sea Guards shoot into the General's clan rats, killing a few of them. The Tyrannok chariot easily rolls over the giant rats and overruns into another pack. The Frostheart Phoenix then shreds and chases down the censer bearers. Marvel's sword masters easily slay the remaining gutter runners, claiming the mystical tower. From atop the battlements, the Elf Lore Master calmly surveys the enemy forces, crafting a strategy for the struggle ahead. Employing their superior speed and flaming banner, the White Lions inflict grievous damage upon the Hell Pit Abomination, before an avalanche of flesh drives the 4 lions into the bloody marsh. A great eagle kills a crewman before both cannons' crewmen injure each eagle. But none of the combatants are willing to give up the fight. The Plague Monks again prepare to charge the Illyrian Reavers, which once again flee. The monks then redirect their charge into the Silver Helms, smashing forcefully into the Shimmering Horsemen. Skeesnit Gnawtail's clan rats then charge the Phoenix Guard, and a pack of slaves charge the White Lions, hoping to assist the Hell Pit Abomination, but losing 4 of their numbers in the marsh. A pack of giant rats then charge the Great Eagle, while the other Skaven units reposition themselves. As the winds of magic howl, the Grey Seer channels a tide of vermin through the tower and the sea, tearing apart 1 sword master and 2 brave elf sailors. The Seer then casts Wither upon the embattled White Lions, rendering them even more vulnerable to injury. The Plague Priests then exhales pestilent breath upon the Silver Helms, causing 2 of them to rot inside their gleaming armor. The seer then attempts to cast Plague on the Sea Guard, but it is irresistibly dispelled. Instead, a Death Wind mortar strikes the Sea Guard, choking 4 of them with poison gas. Another mortar strikes the tower, but the banner of the World Dragon protects the Swordmaster from harm. The Tyrannoc chariot easily dispatches a second group of rats, then reforms to face the Plague Monks. The grinding poisonous Plague Furnace and bludgeoning monks slaughter 2 of the remaining Silver Helms, and the Horde chases the final Silver Helm off the battlefield. The Skaven general issues a challenge, which the Phoenix Guard champion accepts. The Phoenix Guard and Battle Standard bearer then hack down 8 clan rats, before Nawtail's personal rat ogre bludgeons down the elf champion and stomps his body into the ground.
Die, die, pony ears! Squish you to jelly!
And the clan rats kill another one of the Phoenix Guard. Sensing a turn in the tide of the battle, the clan rats continue to fight enthusiastically. As one of the White Lions shifts over to fight the slaves, his brothers finish the Hellpit abomination. The slaves then kill one of the White Lions, fighting harder than the elves likely expected. The combatants then reform to bring their full force to bear. As the battle between rats and eagles continue to rage, the eagles tear down another crewman and 1 giant rat. And as the struggle begins to take shape, the sun grows ever dimmer. The archers charge the nearby giant rats, and the Lothern Sea Guard charge in to help the Phoenix Guard. The Griffin Rider then fails a charge against the clan rat rear. The rest of the elf forces then adjust their positions. Back at the Wizard's Tower, Lore Master Marvel gifts the Phoenix Guard with Harmonic Convergence, and curses the clan rats with both Doom and Darkness and Ice Shard Blizzard, causing them to shiver with uncertainty. Arrows from the Illyrian Reavers bring down Deathwind Mortar. Drawing their swords, elf archers slay the giant rats and continue their advance. One great eagle suffers a wound and kills a giant rat, while the other finishes off a warped lightning cannon. The White Lions wound the Skaven warlock and kill 2 slaves, before the slaves wipe out all but 2 of the White Lions. Nonetheless, the stubborn White Lions refuse to break. With halberd and spear, the Phoenix Guard and Sea Guard begin slaughtering clan rats. But Skiznet Nawtail and his rats manage to overcome 6 Sea Guards and maintain the Skaven morale. Slaves advance into the forest, as the Plague Monks return to the battlefield, and the Grey Seers unit moves carefully through the marsh. With the winds of magic still howling, the Plague Priest spews pestilent breath on the chariot, with no effect. The Grey Seer then blesses the General's clan rats with filth. The Seer then irresistibly infects the Sea Guard with plague, causing 8 of the elves to die of disease. The airborne plague then jumps to the Illyrian Reavers, causing 2 of the horsemen to fall, coughing from their mounts. But the powerful spell takes its toll on the Grey Seer as well, frying his brain and reducing his skill to that of a novice wizard.
I can't control the magic! Ah!
The Plague Furnace attempts to poison the chariot, but fails. The final Deathwind mortar then blows itself up. An eagle takes out the final warp lightning cannon before it gets slain by giant rats. The white lions kill the Skaven warlock and one more slave, and are again too stubborn to retreat. The Phoenix Guard and the Sea Guard continue to slaughter the uneasy clan rats. And although the toxic Skaven inflict some casualties in return, the rats are overwhelmed and scurry frantically across the battlefield. As the moon completely blots out the sun, the battlefield becomes suddenly dark. General, what do you think about the sudden darkness?
Where did the sun go? Nothing in the lore says anything about the sun going out.
Unable to charge what they cannot see, the elves search the darkness for their enemies. Taking advantage of the momentary respite, the Phoenix Guard find their way back to the Wyrding well, followed quickly by the Illyrian Reavers. Drinking from the well, the Phoenix Guard become unbreakable, and the Illyrian Reavers are fully restored. Marvel and his swordmasters emerge from the tower. Taking advantage of the Throne of Vines, the Lord Master then casts Shield of Thorns on his own unit and uses Regrowth to raise a few fallen swordmasters. Fighting in the darkness, the White Lions chop down 2 more slaves. Before the slaves reduce the White Lions only to a brave standard bearer, the Plague Monks march back toward the center of the battle, while giant rats scurry along the wall. The Grey Seer's unit then moves toward the fungal forest, and a unit of slaves reforms. Not yet adjusted to the sudden darkness, the Grey Seer performs no magic, and the incredibly brave White Lion standard bearer remains undaunted in the face of the massive slave horde. And then the sun re-emerges. Wasting no time, the Griffin Rider, the Frostheart Phoenix, and the Chariot charge the Skaven general's freshly rallied unit. And the Eagle and Archers charge in to help the last remaining White Lion. Other elf units maneuver around the battlefield. The few remaining Sea Guard drink from the Wyrding well, and much of their unit is restored. The Phoenix Guard then do the same, but gain no additional benefit. The Elf Apprentice successfully casts Hand of Glory on the Frostheart Phoenix, increasing its speed and fighting skill. Marvel then casts Regrowth to resurrect all the falling Phoenix Guard. He then creates a flame cage around the Plague Monks, frying one of them. The Archers, Eagle, and lone remaining White Lions slay 7 slaves. But the battle-crazed rats refuse to run and tear apart 4 elf archers. Skeesnit Gnawtail and the Griffin-riding Noble square off in a challenge, inflicting only minor injuries upon each other. The Charioteers and Frostheart Phoenix then slay several clan rats. causing the Skaven to scurry for their lives through several high elf units, resulting in significant additional losses. This in turn causes the nearby slaves to panic and flee. With no remaining will to fight, Skisnit-Nawtail and his clan rats flee the battlefield, leaving the remaining Skaven little hope of victory. Nonetheless, fighting with an unearthly rage, the other slaves kill another 4 archers, causing the elves to run for their lives. Still, withered to almost nothing by the Grey Seer, the lone white lion continues to fight heroically. The demoralized archers continue to flee, but stop just short of leaving the battlefield. And determined not to relinquish their apparent victory, the High Elves position themselves to block the remaining Skaven forces. Bravely leaving his unit, Lore Master Marvel attempts to cast Doom and Darkness on the Grey Seer's unit, but is dispelled. He then successfully chills the Grey Seer's unit with Ice Shard Blizzard. As the Grey Seer shivers, Marvel attempts to finish him off with Spirit Leech, but the Plague Priest saves him with a Dispel Scroll. Undeterred, Marvel calls the fate of Bajuna on the Grey Seer, but the venerable Skaven is tough enough to resist any damage. Demonstrating the true stubbornness for which White Lions are known, the Standard Bearer slays another slave as the Eagle slays the Packmaster. And despite overwhelming odds, the withered Standard Bearer still refuses to die and refuses to run.
Wow, if that guy survives, I have to get an interview. He's unbelievable!
As the eclipse nears its end, the Skaven see any hope of victory fading fast. The Plague Monks charge the flank of the Tyrannok chariot. Even as panicked slaves flee from the heroic White Lion fighting nearby, losing 1 slave as they scurry through other enemy units. The Plague Priest breathes pestilent breath on the chariot and again causes no harm. The Grey Seer then attempts to wither the heroic White Lion to nothing, but Lore Master Marvel dispels it with the simplest of gestures. The Plague Furnace rolls over the Tyrannok chariot and down the hill. As the battle enters its final moments, the incredibly heroic White Lion Standard Bearer slays another slave. But insane with rage, the slaves bite savagely into the legs of the Great Eagle, and finally overwhelm the heroic Standard Bearer. With the nearby hero fallen, the wounded eagle loses heart and flees, only to be caught and torn apart by the maniacal slaves. It is a tragic ending to an otherwise glorious High Elf victory.
General, you just defeated the Skaven and were able to claim the secrets of the Wizard's Tower during a solar eclipse. Do you have any words for our viewers?
I was always confident that we would kill all of the rats, or at least some of the rats. And forget what I said about the solar eclipse earlier. All part of the plan. The Lore Master includes everything in the plan.
Amazingly, I've also been able to track down Skisnit-Nawtail. It's all right, General. You can come out now. Do you have any final words for our viewers?
Clearly, everyone can see that the reason that we failed was entirely on purpose, and absolutely not my fault. Definitely not my fault.
Well, there you have it. Today's end result was a major victory for Lore Master